Here, testing, as we know in a software development process, testing is one of the important steps. Okay. Initially, we have seen in our previous class that software development process needs requirement gathering, analysis, design, implementation, testing, maintenance, all those steps, right? So, this is one of the important steps in testing. So, testing is the process of evaluating a system or its component with the intent to find whether it satisfies the specified requirements or not. So, by testing, what are we going to check? We are going to check whether we get what we want or whether it satisfies the specified requirements or not. So, this has to be checked in case of testing. So, normally we perform testing in order to check the specified requirements or not. And testing is executing a system in order to identify. So, testing is another process where we identify errors. If there are any errors or if there are any missing requirements in addition to the actual requirements. So, we will be giving input the actual requirements, and if after testing, we can check if there are any missing requirements or if there are any errors or any gaps. So that will be checked in case of testing. So now verification and validation. So this has been done in our chapter number 2 also, process model, V-shaped model. In V-shaped model, one side is verification, the other side is validation. So similarly in testing also, we have verification and validation. Okay, so once again, okay, so verification and validation. Software testing, so one second. अरे यार, हाँ दिख गया नहीं है. So software testing, uh, here also we will be having verification and validation. So verification, it means we already know we are going to check the documents, we are going to check if we have implemented and if we have used the right product. So the same thing here, we will be checking are the algorithms coded correctly. Okay, are the algorithms coded correctly. Whereas in validation, we will be check does it meet user requirements. Okay, so validation is just like after you finish your software development, we will be checking the requirements, whether it is satisfiable to the customer requirements or not. That will be checked in validation. So verification are the algorithms coded correctly. That means the set of activities that ensure software correctly implements a specific function or algorithm. While in validation, we will check the set of activities that ensure that the software that has been built is traceable to customer requirements. That means we will check whether it meets the user requirements or not. Okay. So verification, we will check if we use the right algorithm, if we implement it correctly or not. While in validation, we will check if it meets the customer requirements or not. That means the product which we have been developing or which we have developed, that product meets the user requirements or not. That will be checked in validation. So in testing strategy, so we have this scenario, we have system testing, validation testing, integration testing, and unit testing. So unit testing is the baseline testing. So from unit testing we will start, and after unit testing means what? Unit testing means testing of the individual modules or the single modules. Okay, individual modules or single modules. So that is unit testing. While in integration testing, we will be combining all the unit testing modules. So there will be different unit testing modules that will be combined in integration testing. Similarly, for validation testing, why do we perform validation testing? Just now I told you that validation testing will be conducted in order to check whether it meets the user requirements or not. And finally, the overall system will be tested. So that is known as system testing. Okay. So all these testing strategies are associated with coding, with design, with requirements, with system engineering. Unit testing is associated with the coding section, integration testing, design, validation testing, requirements, system testing, system engineering. So this is the testing strategies. This is the testing scenario for a software development process. Now coming to the testing strategies individually, we will see what is unit testing, what is integration testing, what is validation testing, and what is system testing. अरे यार मैम मैम Okay, so now here uh, unit testing. As I told you, here in unit testing we are going to test the unit modules, single modules. So this we will be having separate components in order to ensure complete coverage and maximum error detection. So why do we perform unit testing? In order to ensure complete coverage and maximum error detection. So all the components will be then assembled and integrated. So from the whole procedure, we will be dividing into sections, individual sections, so that are known as components or unit modules. So all those unit modules will be tested individually, and then finally that components will be integrated together. Okay. So in case of integration testing, so it focuses on inputs and outputs, and then all the individual components will be fit together or combined together. That is integration testing. Now coming to next one, it is validation testing. So in validation testing, it provides the final assurance. That means whether it meets the user requirements or not, that will be checked in validation testing. That is why it is said here, it provides final assurance that the software meets all functional, behavioral, and performance requirements. So all kinds of requirements will be checked in validation testing. Okay. Next, system testing. So system testing, it verifies that all the system elements. So in system testing, as I told you, the overall system will be tested. So the overall system will be tested, whereas it has in an overall system we have software, we have hardware, we have number of people involved, we have database. So all these elements will be tested in system testing. Okay, so once again I'm repeating, in unit testing we are going to test the unit modules of the software. Okay, initially the software will be divided into unit modules. So all the unit modules will be tested individually, and in integration testing all those unit modules or components will be combined together. Next, in validation, what are we going to do is we will be checking if our software product which we have developed, this satisfy all the user requirements, whether it meets the user requirements or not. That will be tested in validation testing. And finally, in system testing, we are going to test the overall system. So overall system includes software, requirements, hardware, number of people involved, the database, etc. That will be tested in system testing, as an overall testing will be done. Now test strategies. So unit testing, these are again another detailed explanation about unit testing. Okay, detailed explanation. So focuses on testing of function or software module. Just now I told you unit modules, right? So the software will be degraded or it will be divided into sub modules or unit modules. Okay, so why do we divide into submodules? In order to reduce the number of test cases. Okay, and also we can easily, for a unit module, we can easily test and we can easily fix the error if there is any error occurred. We can easily fix it. That's why we perform unit testing. Similarly, for integration testing also. Uh, a detailed explanation about integration testing has been discussed here. So the objective for unit integration testing is to combine the unit modules, to combine the modules uh, for the software development. So, and in integration testing, we have two types of approaches. So first approach is non-incremental integration testing, and the second approach is incremental integration testing. So we have two types in integration testing. So let us see what is non-incremental integration testing. So this type of testing is also known as Big Bang approach. Is also known as Big Bang approach. So all components are combined in advance. All components are combined in advance, and the entire program is tested as a whole. So in unit module, individual modules will be tested, whereas in integration testing, all the unit modules will be combined and the testing will be done as a whole. The entire program will be tested. So in that case, many errors will be encountered, so correction can be done. But here they are telling correction is difficult because isolation of causes is completed. Why? We have all combined the entire program and we have done the testing purpose. So here uh, incremental. So what is the difference here in incremental? The program is constructed and tested in small increments. Okay, here as a whole, as the entire program, once as soon as you combine the submodules, we will be testing as an entire program. The entire program will be tested at one time. So this increases the risk of occurring number of errors. While in incremental integration testing, the program will be tested in small increments. Suppose if you have 100 modules, 100 unit modules in your software development, so we can uh, do the instead of entire program testing, we can perform testing for up to 10 software modules. So 10 software modules we combine together, we test it. So that will make you easier implementation, easier testing process. And after that you can increment another section. So suppose another 10 sections will be included, and now you can test 20 number of unit modules, and another 10 you increase, then 30 modules you will be tested. So another 10 you increase, then 40 modules will be tested. Like this, in small increments you can increase and perform the testing. Okay, so in non-incremental, what we have done is, as soon as we combine all the components, we test the entire program in that is in non-incremental integration testing. But in incremental integration testing, the program will be constructed and the testing will be done in small increments. Okay, suppose if you have 10 number of modules, then two modules you test together, combine together and test, then and increase another two modules, then increase another two modules. Like this, in small increments we can perform the testing. And there are three types of integration testing. Incremental integration testing. So here in in integration testing we have two types. One is non-incremental integration testing. Second type is incremental integration testing. Again, in incremental integration testing three we have three types, that are top down integration, bottom up integration, and sandwich integration. So we have another three types in incremental integration testing. So top down, that means your modules will be divided from the top. So in the top, you will have the entire program. So entire program will be degraded into submodules. So from top to bottom. Okay, down. Top down integration means modules are integrated by moving downward through the control hierarchy, beginning with the main module. So the main module will be at the top and submodules will be at the downwards. It will be degraded or it will be integrated by moving downwards. So uh, we have here DF and BF. DF means depth first or breadth first. Okay. So all modules on the measure control pod are integrated. All modules directly supported at its level are integrated. So that means at depth pod, depth first it will be started, and finally the leaves. Suppose if you consider a tree, if you consider a tree, so you have a root node, you have a root node. Consider that root node as the main module, and from this root node you will be having the child nodes or leaf nodes. Okay, you have your child nodes or leaf nodes. So that leaf nodes is derived from your root node. Okay, so again your child nodes can have another sub nodes, can have another sub nodes. So that is top down approach. So from a main module, it will be derived into sub-modules. And again, these sub-modules will be derived accordingly. So that is top-down integration. Whereas in bottom-up integration, you will be having you are going to start with the submodules. You are going to start with the submodules. So integration and testing starts with the most atomic modules in the control hierarchy. Okay. So bottom up. So at the bottom line, you will be having your submodules, and the submodules will be combined together accordingly, and it will go up until you form a root, that means your main module. Until you form a main module, it will be going up through the hierarchy. One is going down through the hierarchy, the other one is going up through the hierarchy. In top down approach, it's going down through the hierarchy from the main module, whereas in bottom up, from the bottom line, it's going up through uh, the control hierarchy until we find our main module. That is the difference. Okay. So I have already sent the notes. You can go through. These are all theory sections. And in sandwich integration, here it is a combination of both top down and bottom up integration. Okay. Sandwich, it is combination of both top down and bottom up integration. So that means your testing can be occurred at your highest level modules and also at your lowest level modules. That means from the main module, your testing can be occurred, and also from the sub modules, that is the baseline modules, you can have your testing process. So from both the ends, you can have your testing process. That is why this is known as a sandwich integration, combination of both top down and bottom up integration. Now coming to regression testing. So regression testing means here this regression testing it can re-execute a small subset of tests that have been already conducted. That means the testing is already done, but we can again conduct or again re-execute the subset of testings. Okay. So each new addition or change to baseline software may cause problems with functions that previously worked flawlessly. So regression testing is done in order to re-execute all subset of tests that have been already done. So the testing which is already done, you can re-execute your testing process. So regression test, it contains three classes of test cases. It contains three classes of test cases. So that means here a sample of test that has all software functions, and an additional test that can be affected by the change, and finally the actual software components that have been changed. So three test cases is there in regression testing. While in smoke testing, here taken from the world of hardware. Why do we name smoke? Smoke means it's taken from the world of hardware. So when a power is applied and when technician checks for spark, then uh, the technician may check for spark, or we may check for smoke, or he may check for any dramatic signs of fundamental failure. So smoke is nothing but it denotes a fundamental failure. Okay. So smoke testing. Smoke testing, it includes a series of testing purposes in order to design or in order to uh, find out the error that will keep the build from performing its function. So that means smoke testing, we are going to identify the failure here. How does the failure occurs in a software development? So here you can see the goal is to uncover errors The goal is to uncover errors that have the highest likelihood of throwing the software project behind schedule. So in smoke testing, we are going to find out the error which may give you, which may delay your software development process. The main error which may delay your software development process. So which may affect your project scheduling, software project scheduling. That kind of errors will be uh, that kinds of error will be predicted in smoke testing. Okay. So after a smoke test is complete, the detailed test scripts will be executed. So what is the purpose of smoke testing? The smoke testing is to find out the error that may cause you delay in the software development process and also which may delay your software project scheduling. That means your time, which may delay your time, which may affect your software development process. That kind of fundamental failure will be predicted, will be found out in smoke testing. Now, in uh, some benefits are given here. You can just go through. Integration risk is minimized. The quality of end product is improved. Error diagnosis and corrections are simplified, and progress is easier to assess. So this is important, progress. So that is why I told you why we do smoke testing in order to find out the error that may cause you delay in your software project scheduling process. That means your progress. In other words, it means your progress. Error also we will find out, and we will also find out why your software development process may get delayed. Integration risk is minimized, quality is improved, error is diagnosed and corrections are done simplified, and progress is easier to assess. So these are the benefits of smoke testing. Validation testing, I have already explained regarding this. Here we are going to check if the user meets the requirements. That means the final product which we have obtained meets the user requirements or not. That will be checked. So checking is done in such a way all functional requirements are satisfied, all behavioral characteristics are achieved, all performance requirements are attained, documentation is correct, and like this. So all these things will be checked in validation testing. So after each validation testing, so we will have a software product that satisfy all the requirements of the user. Okay, that meets all the user requirements. So that will be obtained once we perform validation testing. Next testing is alpha and beta testing. Next type of testing is alpha and beta testing. So alpha testing, this is conducted at the developer's side by end users. This is conducted at developer's side by the end users. And now in beta testing, it is conducted at the end user's site. Okay, one is it is conducted at the developer's site, and in beta it is conducted at the end user's site. So in alpha testing, software is used in a natural setting with developers, and testing is conducted in a controlled environment, whereas in beta testing, it is conducted by the end user side, and developer is not present while conducting the beta testing, and also it serves as a live application of the software in the environment, and the end user records all problems that are encountered, and that records will be recorded and finally the report will be sent to the developers. Okay, so here alpha and beta. Alpha, it is conducted at the developer side. Beta, it is conducted at the end user side. And in alpha, testing is conducted in a control environment. And beta, the testing is conducted only with the end users without the presence of developer. And the end users will record all the problems while conducting the testing, and finally the report will be sent to the developer. So that is alpha and beta testing. Now system testing. System testing is the last type of testing, and in system testing we have some types here. Okay, system testing, as I told you, it is the overall system testing. Overall testing of the system. That means overall system in the sense you have your software, you have your hardware, you have number of people, you have database. So all those will be tested. That is known as system testing. And for this we have some types here. One is recovery testing, security testing, stress testing, performance testing. So what are they is given here. So recovery, so recovering something, a test that can recover something from any system faults. That is recovery testing. Whereas in security testing, it will verify that the protection mechanism built into a system will protect the improper access. So if there is any unauthorized access, it will notify to you or it will protect from entering to your system. That is security testing. And in stress testing, we have executing the system where the resources in abnormal quantity, frequency, or volume. So that demands stress testing means we will check if the system demands for abnormal quantity of your data or any abnormal frequency or abnormal volume of the data. That will be tested in stress testing, whereas in performance testing, final testing for uh, this type. So here the runtime performance will be checked, whether we get the efficient software product or not, or whether we can solve the stress testing problems, because here in stress testing what does it demand? It demand resources in abnormal quantity. So we will check by performance testing whether this type of problem can be solved, and also it can protect from possible system failure if we perform all this testing. Okay, now coming to next one, debugging process. So all these words are very common and you have already aware of debugging. Debugging means what? Removing error. Bug is an error. Debug is removing or taking out the error. So in our testing strategies also, we will be including debugging. Okay, we will be including debugging so that if there is any errors, that will be removed. So the debugging process normally begins when the execution started for a test case. So debugging strategies, we have three strategies. One is brute force strategy, backtracking strategy, and cause elimination strategy. So let us see what is brute force. So brute force here, this type of strategy is used when all other strategies are failed. Okay, when all other strategies are failed, we use brute force strategy. So it involves the use of memory dumps, run the time traces, and output statements. But sometimes this type of strategy may lead to wasting of effort and time. Okay. So brute force, it is the most commonly used and least efficient method, okay, method, and this is used when all types of where all other strategies are failed. Backtracking. Backtracking is, back here. So you have to go back manually, you have to trace back manually, and you have to perform uh, your testing process. Okay, so your debugging process. So it is used in small programs, and this is the method is started. If there is any problem occurred, so in that problem, the area where the problem occurred, we can start backtracking from that part. Okay, so the source code is backtracked manually until the location of the course is found. So here at certain position, if you find some problem, then you have to backtrack, you have to check the location until you find from where is the main cause for your failure. That will be checked using this strategy. But for larger program, this may not be efficient. Okay. Now in cost elimination is you are removing or you are deducting the problem part. So it involves use of induction or deduction and introduce the concept of binary partitioning. Okay, so here in induction, what we are going to do is prove that the specific starting value is true, then prove the general case is true. While in deduction, shows a specific conclusion follows from a set of general premises. That means here in induction, we will follow specific to general. So you start with a specific starting value, then you can prove that the general case is true. Okay, from specific to general, and from deduction from general to specific. So here normally in course elimination, what we are going to do is we will find out where the error is occurred, and the data related to the error occurrence, that will be isolated or that will be removed, that will be eliminated. Okay, so this type of strategy is used in our debugging process. So we have three debugging process. One is brute force, one is backtracking, one is course elimination. So here we have studied only the main theories for your debugging process. Okay. So today what we have seen is we have seen the testing strategies. We have some types of testing here: unit testing, integration testing, validation testing, and system testing. And also we have in integration testing two types: non-incremental testing and incremental testing. So in integration testing, in incremental integration testing, again we have three types. One is top down, bottom up, and sandwich. So top down here, it explains about moving down the hierarchy, and bottom up is going up the hierarchy. And sandwich, it is a combination of both top down integration and bottom up integration. Okay. So next one is regression testing. Regression is re-executing your testing process, and smoke testing, it is like in order to find out the main error where it goes, so that we can protect from delaying of our project scheduling. And also some benefits are given here. In if we perform smoke testing, your what are the benefits? It may ask you what are the benefits for smoke testing. You can say all these four benefits. And in validation testing, we will check whether it meets the user requirements or not. Alpha and beta testing. Alpha testing is conducted at developer site, and beta testing is conducted at end user's site. Okay, now system testing and types. System testing, you have recovery, security, stress, and performance. Debugging. Here, for debugging, we have all three strategies. One is brute force, one is backtracking, one is cause elimination. Okay, so these are some brief explanation about software testing strategies. So next class, we will see more about testing. I don't think much is left. One summary is there for testing and types. That's all for this software testing strategies. This summary also it is same only types of testing. There they discuss unit testing, integration testing, regression, small, alpha, beta, system. So all the testing which we have done here, it is given here in a summary. I think I have sent you the summary also class in your Google Classroom. I have sent about the software testing strategies and also I have sent about the summary. Okay. Anyways, let's wind up for today here. Let me take your roll call now. One second. Okay. Roll number one.
Present, ma'am.